Modern video game reporting has gone down the tube since, I believe, 2014. Ever since then, after the Alpha Sapphire Omega Ruby incident, nothing's been the same. So we're going to take a deep dive real quick into stuff that's happened recently to prove my point even further. For those who've been around, and those who don't know me, I did about a year and a half, 2 years of video game reporting for a site that no longer exists called Mobile Gaming News Network. We covered everything mobile, so that includes handheld games, phone games, stuff that was coming out, collabs, everything in between. I wrote about maybe 40 to 50 articles reviewing games, talking about upcoming stuff, the whole kit cam and caboodle, or whatever it's called. Recently, there was an article that came out from IGN France, I believe that's how it's identified, to which they basically called out this new game that's coming out, Stellar Blade, to which the writer, Ben Osala, basically insulted the director and artist who married the concept artist. It is not new, and other games have chosen to highlight the strengths of their female characters, but where a Bayonetta standout with an iconic character design, or 2B from Nier Automata inspires an entire generation of cosplay, Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland. A doll sexualized by someone who has never seen a woman. And it literally takes 2 seconds to look up the director. Look at that. That looks like a director. That looks like a female to me. So, oh, look at that. Look at that, a concept artist. That's a female. This shows the lack of consideration and actual lack of, I guess, brain cells would be the nice way to put it into it, but it takes 5 seconds to look up these people. Even just looking at their names, you can tell, hey, that's actually a female that's doing this design. By the way, I tried to look this article up. I cannot find it whatsoever. This was a day afterwards. They're trying to hide their tracks. So how I found about it was from Grummies on Twitter, which Twitter's kind of a hit or miss on if you can find good stuff or not. Then it was even more categorized by Asmongold, which I have feelings about, but Asmongold subreddit actually categorized it as well. So why am I bringing this up? It shows the lack of actual research going into these games that are coming out. Another one that really doesn't do well, and it was the Alpha Sapphire, okay? I'm just going to say it. Alpha Sapphire Omega Ruby review when it came out 10 years ago. This is what I view as the downfall of gaming reporting. When, Hoenn originally came out, it was a good chunk of it was water. That was their appeal. Hey, we're on the coast. You get a bunch of this water regions. You get a bunch of water Pokemon. You get to dive, do all of this. Well, Omega Ruby came out, reskinned it, put a bunch of new mechanics, and basically brought it to 3D, like 3D chibi and stuff like that, and the guy complained there was too much water. It's almost like he never played the original game or still looked to it. And that's where the original meme of it's a 7.8 out of 10, too much water comes from, because that's what the guy says in this article. This article is still up, by the way, on IGN. There's a lot of water in this, and that just shows the amount that went into it. Another one, Polygon, which I can't find the original article because they took it down and they redid it and reworked it. Basically, Polygon was comparing Persona 5 to Persona 3 Reloaded to 5, saying Persona 3 Reloaded is trying to be Persona 5 when it's not. Yeah, it has the updated move around mechanic like Persona 5 because that's what people want when it comes to Persona games, but that's the only comparison. And yeah, they pull different little bits in there, but Persona 3 has nothing, or is not even trying to be Persona 5. Persona 3 is its own thing, is super dark. Yeah, Persona 5's dark, but not as dark comparatively to Persona 3, which deals with direct death, deals with a bunch of darker undertones. I don't want to go on a rant. The point is, that was very subjective, and he didn't do research, and you could tell that they only played Persona 5. I think one of the lines was, yeah, I only played Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royale, but Persona 3 is trying to be like Persona 5. Obviously, they never did their research, they never played the other ones, which, if you want to be like that, yeah, Persona 5 copied stuff and is trying to be like Persona 4. You could say that same thing. It doesn't make sense. And I found another one, which, Game Rant, they're horrible, but they're basically saying you need to be like this Persona 5 character in Persona 3. You can look this up, and it proves that people put their objectivity into the reviews and are not being straight factual. And with that, I want to talk about another one that Game Rant did, where they talked about the 9 rarest cards in Weiss Schwarz. They covered literally nothing that is rare, nothing that is worthwhile, nothing that is worth its money. They just picked some random cards. If you want to talk about rare cards, you want to talk about stuff that's actually worth money, people that actually want and are hard to find. Number one example is the Bunny Girl Senpai Trial Deck one, which you can go check out the Anime Men about. They did a whole video on it. You can check out Alex Hodges about it. That card is worth $10,000 plus. Even the raw card of it is worth like $5,000 to $6,000. It was, for those who don't know, basically there was a mix-up, and that a certain sign card in the set was replaced with the Trial Deck SP. So Bushiroad said, hey, if you send all these SPs in, we'll give you the correct one. So everyone send them all in, and they got the card, which is way more playable at the time, way more valuable. But internal thing from Bushiroad said, yeah, destroy all these cards. So every copy of that SP that was worth maybe 50, 60 bucks at the time because of how many there were, got destroyed. Now that card is super hard to find. There's maybe 10 that have been listed on the market in the last couple years, let alone if they were graded. Hardly ever seen raw. They don't cover any of that. They just pick some random cards and just go, yeah, this got some value because fan service, and then yeah, because look, more fan service. They don't actually put any value into this article. And there's a video coming out on Base Damage, which is the other side channel that I help out at, that goes more in detail and proves the point on this. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out on. Modern video game reporting has gone down the tubes, has been proven time and time again that people don't know what they're actually reviewing. They talk out of their mouth and they just prove the point time and time again. From trying to compare games that have nothing to compare about, saying, oh, they're not as good as this because they aren't this, i.e., Persona 3 Reloaded isn't as good as Persona 5 because it's not Persona 5. There's too much water in Pokemon, which that's what the main focus of that region is. To, oh, these people have never seen a woman in their life, but they're a woman designing and creating the game. Those are just some examples, and there's a lot of them out there. All this comes to is video game reporting has gone down the tube, and more frequently, down the shitter, I think is the best way to describe it. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know some of your favorite articles that are out there. I would really love to see them if you can still find them, because a lot of these places are covering up and trying to hide everything. Let me know. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.